Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it, Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com. This is Kayla Keith, and you're listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about a teen girl who witnessed a murder and was willing to testify. 1 year later, she went missing. Someone knows something. Hello.
Hey.
Happy Saturday.
It is Saturday morning, opening day. If you're listening to this, like somewhat early, we're at the Ball Diamond.
And we will be there for the foreseeable future.
Yep, until we die. Yeah. Little Raylan gets to be there for opening day. We didn't know if she was going to be here right now. We didn't know if we were going to be there for opening day.
That's true. My due date is coming up. So
well, and you were scheduled to get induced on the 22nd.
Which is, yeah.
And she'll be a month old.
Thanks for coming out early, girl.
Born on March 21st.
You might hear her squeaking in the background. She's here with us again today while the boys are in school. So, 28 exclusive episodes is what we're up to now for our subscription content.
Facts. Yesterday was the Cleveland torso murders. I'd never heard of that story before.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty gross.
Yeah,
if you're into that.
I mean,
kind of thing.
Like we said, it was. I hate using the word inspiration, but if you've ever seen Dexter,
there's no way they didn't read.
Like it's like the real life ice truck killer.
Yeah,
very crazy.
Yeah, whoever did it was crazy.
No doubt about it.
But somebody killed and dismembered 13 people in Cleveland, and they never found out who it was.
And then
we never hear that.
We never made a big deal about the fact that last week you got to do BTK.
I did.
It was supposed to be on her birthday, but Raylan was
born
4 days old. We came home from the hospital the day before. We didn't get time to put that case together on your birthday, but yeah. So we did BTK.
There's a lot of good ones. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's $10
O.J. Simpson.
a month.
O.J. Simpson just passed away. He's been
Johnny
on the news a lot.
does not think that he
I don't think
guilty.
He's necessarily completely innocent, but I don't think he's the one that killed
anything. But I
don't think he's the one that killed Nicole Brown and Mr. Goodman.
I don't know that he did either. After your compelling argument,
it was a two-parter.
It was good. So yeah, there's a lot of good cases on our subscriber content. If you want to subscribe, it's $10 a month. That money goes to help us keep the podcast rolling, and it makes us love you a lot.
And we send you some fun stuff, which we're behind on. We will get to it. I promise. I promise.
It's Raylan's fault.
I blame Raylan. Also, summer break's coming up for me, and I'm kind of just like putting a lot of things off till then. I probably shouldn't put as many things off as I'm putting off, but it's coming. Also, long sleeve tee weather.
I'm wearing my Missing Midwest long sleeve tee
that's
now.
what made me think about it.
That's
what made me think about
soft.
It.
Looks
good.
It has corn on the sleeve, which makes me excited for summer, even though it's a long sleeve shirt.
I feel like every week the boys are like, how many more weeks till the fair? Like
I said that the other day. I love the fair. Merch store's still open. You can order hats, shirts, support our Missing Midwest podcast. It's been a year. I announced that I was doing the podcast on my birthday, my 30th birthday, last March 25th. And so it's been a year since we announced that we were doing it. And then July 1st was our first episode. So we're closing in on a year.
Pretty crazy.
It went better than I thought it would, actually. We have some serious
We passed 15,000 downloads last week.
And
we're flying towards 16.
I didn't think that we would have subscriber content, but so many people were like, I want more than one episode a week. So we're like, okay. So we started doing that. And
yeah.
It's been fun.
It's helped us keep Cody around. Well. It's been working.
Yeah. Anything else?
Let's get into this. Let's get into the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one you're going to think is pretty obvious because I said in the beginning, somebody witnesses a murder and was willing to testify and goes missing. Like it sounds pretty cut and dry, like what you think happened, right?
Yeah.
It's not. So we're going to South Bend.
Twists and turns. South Bend, Notre Dame.
Do not remind me about Notre Dame. This might make
Oh,
enemies of some people. This might make enemies, but we went to the only time I've been to South Bend. We went to a Notre Dame game.
Shout out Connor Olstad hooking us up with tickets.
It was miserable. Possibly the worst, top 5 worst days of my life. I was pregnant. It was like over 90 degrees. We had to walk, I think, like 27 miles. The seats were so stinking small.
Also, if
they're
you've
not
been,
made for pregnant people.
If you've ever been to Notre Dame games, you know
and
that
it was like
it's
a
the bleachers
slice of wood that you sit
and
on.
it's the little space, and we were in between a big fella and another big fella. So
sharing big fella's sweat on my arm the entire
time. It was not
time.
an ideal situation for a pregnant person. I felt bad the entire time. I'd been looking forward to going to that game forever. I'd never been. That was my first time ever going to Notre Dame game. So for me, I'm like,
You'll never go back.
I'm
with
like
me.
cloud 9 there.
We will never. I will never.
And Kayla was just completely miserable. It was the first year they had turf.
Who cares?
And so I was like, I can't believe this. This is crazy. And then
they should have bought
was
bleachers.
So miserable. I felt so bad.
Instead of turf.
I'm pretty sure like in the fourth quarter, we like just went out and hung out in the, because you were done. I remember you being like so miserable.
I was done when we were walking from our car in there, but I stayed for you. Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I'm looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They are opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited. So South Bend has a population of 103,000, which gets you $12 generals up there.
There you go.
I would rather go to all $12 generals than go to one more Notre Dame football game. No lie.
I'm sure I'll take the boys someday.
While
but Kayla will probably not be going with us.
A nice campus. Some would say prestigious. It was pretty. I'll give it that. Okay.
You were all about it until we actually sat in our seats, and you were like, "This is what I have to do for the next 3 hours."
So the campus is nice and everything, but if you know South Bend's rough.
Yeah.
There's some rough parts.
Yeah.
It's like the most crime. Like why did that word? Like the most crime-ridden city.
Crime-ridden
city in Indiana.
It's one of them for sure.
It's one of the biggest ones
I think
in Indiana.
Gary's
one of the biggest
the worst,
ones in the
but
U.S.
It's bad. South Bend's bad.
It ranks up there pretty high with the crime. So the police are busy up there, to say the least about it, I guess. So when you have a missing teenager, it might not make the top of the list, especially when it's labeled as a runaway.
Oh, last week we had a runaway case.
What they did, which makes me crazy. Okay, so on June,
for me to label something as a runaway case,
I'd need to be pretty
I would need like
dang
a note.
sure that I know.
I need like a note
That's what
and
I
witnesses.
want. I'm running away.
Like, yeah, they ran away. It's number 1 in the country, or Indiana? Indiana.
Oh, Cody said it's number 1. South Bend is the number 1 crime city in Indiana. So
Big yikes.
Be careful.
Yeah. But back to the runaway situation. Like last week, it was like...
I literally want a note that says, I ran away and I'm not coming back, and then I will label you as a runaway if I was a police officer. But for them to like just be like, yep, she probably ran away, pisses me off in every case we do so much.
Well, last week's it was like, you have a guy who just completely flat out lied to you. You have so many witnesses saying that they don't think this is a runaway because X, Y, Z, and you're like, probably ran away. Like, is this going to be like that? Well, you already said. I'll let you tell the story. Sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. So June 8th, we're in 1986 here. 16-year-old Sandra Powell, she was with some of her friends, hanging out at night. There was a drive-by shooting.
It's scary.
Right? I can't imagine. I think that's so scary.
Terrifying.
I don't know why.
That's terrifying.
When I was a kid, I assumed everybody driving by my house
as soon as you
was
said
going to
that, I
shoot
went
us.
back to there's like at least 2 movies where there's a drive-by shooting. I can't remember one of them. It's like a dancing movie.
Step Up. Channing Tatum.
Was there a drive-by shooting in Step Up?
Yes.
Well, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Anyways, I just remember thinking, like, that's horrifying.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was just saying. When I was little, we used to play in the yard and we would run and hide when cars drove by in the middle of the freaking country. I don't know why, but I just...
The 2 cars that drove by that day?
Why was that such a fear for me? I'm not sure. But yeah. So her friend actually died, Wayne Mack. He was shot and killed as a result of that drive-by shooting that night. And so she saw the entire thing as well as the 2 people in the vehicle. So she knew exactly who killed her friend. There were other people that saw it as well, and they knew who they were. And so a month later, the 2 men who were brothers that Sandra and her friend saw fire the shots and that were in the car, they were arrested. And when the trial came around, Sandra and her friends agreed to testify. Obviously, they wanted justice for their friend. However, they started receiving some really bad threats from people. We can only assume that it was people that were either close to the shooters or the shooters themselves.
Say if this was like gang related or anything like that?
Yes, it was gang related. And so they don't know if it was like from the people in the gang or whatever, but
family,
they basically
somebody,
like telling them like, you better not testify.
Yeah.
Sandra's a bad bitch though, so she did testify, which is awesome. And some of the witnesses actually had to go into protective custody though during the trial because that's how bad the threats got. And so Sandra and her friends, they still testified, and were able to get justice for their friend, a man named Donald Peck. He got sentenced to 60 years for Wayne Mack's murder. However, his brother Bobby, he got acquitted of all the charges.
Ooh, how does that happen?
I don't really know. Maybe he wasn't the shooter. Maybe he was just in the car.
But still,
yeah.
Accessory? Like, isn't that what an accessory
is? You would
is?
think. Maybe he talked. Maybe he. I don't know. There's so much that goes on with that. So Bobby's now a free man. Can you imagine getting death threats and then one of the people going free?
Hey, didn't you tell the police that I was in that car? Like, yeah, I did tell them that.
No, I didn't say that. He's like, actually, I was there when you testified against me. So yeah, that would be unsettling to say the least.
Yeah.
For Sandra and all her friends, I'm assuming. One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is something I never thought I would do. You want to know my secret? Hiring a cleaning company. Like, who does that? I never thought I would say that I'm going to have my house clean for me. But in this season of life, with young kids and sports and work and side hustles, I had to decide how I wanted to spend my free time, and cleaning was not on that list. Stanley Cleaning Company has given me my free time back. They come once a month, and they sweep and mop my entire house and clean my bathrooms for me, and let me tell you, it is my favorite day of the month. Coming home to a sparkling clean house and knowing that I just saved 3+ hours of my time to spend with my kids is such a mental health game changer for me. It doesn't matter who from their team comes, they leave my house shining. And the best part is it's affordable. Christine offers an a la carte menu. You can do a general or a deep cleaning, just a sweep and a mop. You can do once a month or every week, a spring cleaning or a pre-party clean. She even has a postpartum mom clean that happens while you're in the hospital having your baby, and I can attest to that. It is amazing. Give them a call today for a free quote, and I promise it will be the best self-care you can imagine. You can find them on Facebook at Stanley Cleaning Company, or you can give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. So yeah, that's pretty stressful, right? So to add to this stressful situation we have going on, shortly after the trial, Sandra got pregnant.
Whoa.
She was going to Washington High School. She was 16, almost 17 at the time, so I'm assuming that's like a junior in high school. Most of us would have been excited to like get our license, maybe go to prom around that time. However, Sandra had witnessed a murder, been threatened to not testify, testified anyway, and now she's pregnant. And then to make matters worse, just a few months before her baby was born, the father decided he was going to marry somebody else. So he left her for a different lady. So Sandra was super upset.
Yeah,
like
that's rough.
A rough
junior year.
Rough junior year, to say the least. So March.
I think the worst thing that happened my junior year was like we lost football games.
Probably. Yeah, you weren't worrying about this stuff.
No, that's so sad.
So March 10th was just 4 days before her 17th birthday. Sandra was with some friends again when she got a mysterious phone call. None of her friends knew who had called her, but like she got up, she left the room to go take that phone call. Nothing was ever said about it, but they said it like made her visibly upset, like when she came back. So they don't know what that who that was or anything, but some friends noted that when the police talked to her. The next day, Sandra and one of her friends went out together. There's a couple different reports here. Some reports say they went to the YMCA. Some people say they went to a spa that was next door to the YMCA. Regardless, it was like this busy area, and the two got separated. When her friend couldn't find her, buddy system, never separate.
Right.
When her friend couldn't find her, though, she thought maybe Sandra just went home. We don't have cell phones in 1986. Or are we in 87 now?
Sorry.
Yeah. We don't have cell phones in 1986, 87. And so she couldn't just text her and be like, hey,
right.
where you at? So she just assumed she went home. However, Sandra did not go home that night. And so when her family figured out that, she wasn't home, they started looking through the house. They went into her room and they noticed that like all of her personal belongings, all of her clothes, money, everything was still there. Obviously, she didn't need clothes and stuff to go to the YMCA or the spa that day. And so she left them at home. So several people close to her said, like, we don't think she ran away. Like, something's wrong.
Right.
And so they ended up reporting her missing the next day. And she was 4 months pregnant at this time. And so she's been reported missing by her family. They gave
Where's Junior? I mean, like, again,
literally,
still like all of the
terrible.
same year.
They gave all this information to the police. Guess what they said? We've already went over this. Run away. They said she ran away.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, all things considered at this point, how can you possibly dismiss this as a runaway?
This girl has been through hell.
Like, remember 5 months ago when you were telling me about the death threats? Like, we were putting her in her friends in
remember when she
protective custody?
testified for the police to put some bad guy behind bars, and now you're saying she ran away?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, literally. So since we're in 1987 here, there's no Facebook, no social media, no cell phones. So the family was left to do all of their searching themselves. Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118. The police were not helping with the searching, so they did all of it themselves. There was no press conference, no radio broadcast, like I said, no social media posts. So the family was really like feet on the ground doing the thing themselves. But there's not a whole lot of resources in 1987. So they didn't even take any DNA or dental records, the police, because they said she ran away. So even if her body was found today, like, there's no way to match it to her because they didn't even do that. So in 2002, her case was changed from a runaway to a missing and an endangered person. But so much, like, I don't know why they even bothered at this time, but so much time had passed. There's like no evidence from the night she was missing. I don't know why they waited 15 years to change her status of her case. But what's interesting about it is that they had tips from people saying they had seen her. And so I'm assuming that's why they changed her status to missing and endangered, because people are like, oh, she's alive.
Well, I feel like if that was coming up, then I would think, like, okay, maybe she did run away. If we're having sightings of her, like, why would it change from runaway to missing, endangered after we've seen her?
Right.
Or at least people say they have.
So one report was in 1997. They said that somebody called the police and said they recognized her in a bunch of adult films. They looked into it, but the law enforcement got really annoyed by this. So maybe that's why they changed it so quickly. Maybe they were like, it's, maybe not maybe missing, endangered. Maybe she was forced into that.
So maybe she was forced into that line of work. So maybe that's why they switched it to missing and endangered. I'm not sure. She was like 5'5", and she had like a really distinct scar on the side of her right neck. They were never able to determine if any of the actresses in those movies was actually Sandra, though. Then there was another tip from somebody, and this person knew Sandra really well. Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling that it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers. So this person said she was like 100% sure that she saw Sandra on a TV series called Soul Train, which was a variety show that was based out of Chicago, and it had like R&B and soul and hip hop music on it. So the police were like, we'll check it, and they tried to get all of the tapes from the different episodes of Soul Train, but nope, they were never given to them, and so they just didn't look into it. Which this is something else that bugs me to death in cases like this. Like, you get a tip and you half-ass follow it through. Like, there's tapes of this show out there somewhere. Get them and see if it's her. Tips like what?
I mean, like, my thing is, like, was this person like you? Because, like, you're like, oh, I know that person. Like,
okay,
your facial
there's
recognition.
No need to make fun.
I'm just saying, like, your facial recognition is like D+ sometimes.
My facial recognition is really bad.
And so, like, you know, when you get these tips like this, I'm sure police deal with D+ facial recognition people too.
That's true.
But, like, also, at least get the tapes. Like, follow this through. Like, don't
Seriously,
stop.
There's got to be an intern somewhere that you can watch those freaking tapes, okay?
Yeah, right. I mean, 5'5", like, that's a pretty short girl.
With a scar on her neck that you should be able to see.
And you probably wouldn't be able to see that, like, in a TV show, I guess.
I don't know. I just feel like it's significant enough that somebody's like, okay, Raylan. She was pretty confident in it, this person. She knew her well. Like, look into it. Because this isn't the first tip that she's alive either. So why are we not looking into it a little bit harder? I don't know. But like tips like that gives you hope that maybe she's out there. Maybe she's okay. Maybe she did run away. She would be 54 today. Runaway theory doesn't make any sense to me. If she was out there on Soul Train, you would think she would contact her family at some point or come back home. But I mean, now if she was kidnapped, though, that makes more sense to me because of the adult film thing. Like, she could have been kidnapped and forced into working in that industry. So that's plausible, I guess. However, like I said, they weren't able to identify her in that scenario. So I think she was probably met with foul play that night. It was gang-related activity. We were less than 6 months out from receiving death threats.
I mean, I think that's like what keeps coming back to my mind. Like, how can we definitively rule that out? Like,
they never did.
Therefore, there should have never been a runaway scenario.
Like we say all the time, I'm not a cop, but wow.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if I'm in South Bend and I know of the situation and then something else happens, again, crime-ridden city, and they want me to testify, like, oh, what, in 3 months you're going to say I'm a runaway? Like, if something happens to me in 3 months, you're going to label me a runaway?
Right.
Like, I just can't.
Maybe be a little, if you're going to testify against somebody, maybe be a little, have them sign a contract or something saying that they're going to have your back in 3 months.
Exactly. That's unbelievable to me.
I mean, like I said, she was less than 6 months out from receiving death threats, and then one of the men she testified against went free. And then 3 months later is gone. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would have, like we said earlier, I need a note.
I need you to sign this and give it to my attorney that you're going to have my back if I go missing. I don't think she would have ran away. I don't think she would have left her money. 17-year-olds don't run away without money. 17-year-olds don't usually run away without some dramatic exit either, with, like you said, a note or something. So it just makes sense to me. I think she was met with foul play that night, and I think that she didn't get the justice that she needed from the police.
Well, I hate cases like this too because now there's like no possible way. Like, they didn't even get dental records.
They didn't get dental
we
records.
We can't
or
even get
DNA
closure on this ever. Like, there's no possible way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, they find remains and stuff all the time, and it's like maybe she has been found and we just don't even know it. So I don't know. It would be interesting to see now with like the familial DNA and stuff, if any of her family is able to submit DNA and have it on file. That way, if they do find remains, they can run it and see. But I think for sure somebody knows something. Whatever happened that night, I think they probably know who's responsible, who did it, where she's at, and what happened.
This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.